passengers en route to Kaduna International Airport by rail are being conveyed in specialized coaches once they are able to present their etiquette free of charge.
It's great. You know, I said, oh, how will I not go through all this rough travel and all that? But I think they made good arrangements.
Better than the road experience I had yesterday.
Federal government dedicated 2 coaches out of 4 coaches to passengers riding to catch a flight. Since the closure of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, the number of train passengers from Abuja to Kaduna have increased.
When we started on Wednesday last week, very few passengers connecting their flight turned up, but for now I'm telling you that we have more than 100.
The Nigerian Railway Corporation, NRC, has increased the number of its trips from 2 to 3 times daily from the Idu to Rigasa train stations in Kaduna since the closure of the Abuja airports. Oyinaya Kalu Oka, NTA News.
4 female teenage suicide bombers and 2 other men have died in the early hours of Wednesday following suicide attacks on Usmanti village along Munagarij in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Confirming the attack, Borno State Police Command stated that already the police anti-bomb squad has visited the scene. Memuna Garba reports.
The suicide attacks, which occurred at 1:15 this morning, also injured 16 people who are now receiving treatment at the State Specialist and University of Maiduguri teaching hospitals. According to eyewitnesses, the 4 suicide bombers were brought to the area in a Hilux van, and the first bomber detonated her IED near a shop, which was gutted by fire, and the residents thought it was a fire outbreak in the community, as a result of which they came out to put it off. Then the subsequent bombers detonated their IEDs.
I saw one bumping that area when I came out. Immediately when this one finished, then I heard another sound from my left-hand side. Immediately some second ago, then another one with triplications of a seconds.
The increasing suicide attacks around the Muna general area has become a source of worry to residents of Maiduguri, as in recent times the suicide bombers have been trying to infiltrate the state capital through the same area. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
The National Assembly has advised the government of Kaduna, Zamfara and Taraba states to seek ways of resolving the communal crisis in their areas through reconciliatory measures to ensure lasting peace in the states. The chairman, Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Southern Kaduna Crisis and other parts of the country, gave the advice when he received the report of the Kaduna State Government on communal crisis from 1928 to date. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Izumba reports.
The chairman of the ad hoc committee, Kabiru Gaya, who said the major problems in the areas are social, political and religious, urged the people of Southern Kaduna to work with the state government to ensure peaceful coexistence.
The governors of both states, both Governor of Zamfara and Governor of Kaduna, and even Taraba, where we visited earlier, they are doing their best in trying to maintain peace. We tend to visit more based on the directive by the Senate that we should also visit Benue State, Nasarawa State, Niger State, Kano State, because of the southern part of Kano.
I believe that when you secure the place first, then you reconcile the people. Then you can now come up with either a resolution or a new act or law that makes sure that if we set up timelines and issue that if you go beyond this, this will take place, this will happen, and this. But if you going back and saying you want to implement past white papers, definitely you create more problem than.
In as much as we want to have union and have good relationship with our neighboring countries, that does not mean we should expose our own security to danger.
The committee, while thanking the government of various states for holding community meetings that will bring solutions to the crisis, said their findings will be submitted to the Senate at plenary. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Izumba, NTA News.
Still talking peace, the task of restoring peace to the Niger Delta is a collective responsibility of all Nigerians. This, the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, believes must be pursued without sentiments. He stated this while playing host to members of the South-South Zone of the National Youth Council of Nigeria. Timothy Yusuf reports.
One spectacular message from the youths to the Inspector General of Police is that the menace caused by the youths ought to be corrected by them. This, they say, informed their special project tagged Niger Delta Youth Peace Dialogue. To realize their project, they are adopting 3 measures of consultation, memorandum and dialogue.
The time for us to come before you is now, so that we will not be seen doing a good job, doing it so wrongly as to the fact that we did not crave the indulgence of the authority, the security agencies.
Without the police, there will be no good governance. Without the police, there will be no security.
The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, welcomed their initiative. He assured on the support of the Nigeria Police, which he described as more people-oriented in its policies and operations.
It's a very good sign that some of you are going on to build bridges to other members of the country itself, having positive objectives to see how Nigeria as a country would progress beyond its present condition.
The IGP implored them to promptly report any act capable of breaching the peace of the society to the relevant authorities, stressing that a stitch in time saves 9. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Just to let you know that you can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Still to come on the news, the story of the Nigerian community in South Africa. Foreign Affairs Minister gets first-hand briefing. Plus, Consumer Protection Council appoints an ambassador. Details shortly.
There's a situation, everybody's speculating. They say, what have we done to deserve this constant changing? Father, hear us, cause we trust the failed us. They say, look to the Lord for salvation and he shall redeem you. Lord, I'm getting frustrated. Yes, I'm losing my patience. I've been waiting for so long. Cause this is who we are. It's our reality. It's our reality now. This is who we are. It's our reality. It's our reality.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Every visitor to Afe Babalola University, Abuja, since its establishment in 2010, has testified to its uniqueness.
This place will be comfortable for learning for any child.
When I came here, I discovered it is a good place for my child to come.
I'm very confident that my daughter will come out in flying colors, properly refined and built to meet the aspirations of the modern day Nigerian.
If you have a kind of arrangement like this, and this is just the beginning, then I want to imagine when it is having its golden anniversary. I think it has a place to go.
The school has a very, very bright future.
I'm praying I'll be part of that future if my kid is here.
Afe Babalola University, the fastest growing educational institution in Africa.
The sons and daughters of the great defunct Kwara Empire from within Nigeria and the diaspora are coming together to celebrate the 40th anniversary of His Majesty Dr. Shekarau Angi Masa Ibi Kubian II CON as the 24th and second longest reigning Aku Uka in the history of the Kingdom of Ukari. The Aku Uka is a custodian of the unity symbol and traditional head of the Kwara Empire. The legendary Kwara people as a socio-cultural group who are currently found in 24 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria invite friends of the empire to the coming together of the descendants and the celebration of the anniversary of the Aku Uka. Date, Friday 17th March 2017. Time, 9 a.m. Venue, Aku Uka Convocation Square, Kwara University, Wukari, Taraba State. Come to the great reunion and enjoy culture at its best.
Hello? Welcome to the M6 Challenge. Using your new Gioni M6, carry out everything on that list. Starting now. Congratulations, you have passed the test.
Gioni M6 with a 5,000 milliampere battery that lets you go on for 2 days on a single charge. Gioni M6, always in power.
The Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, FMITI, and the Industrial Training Fund, ITF, cordially invite the governors of Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Benue, Edo, Ekiti, Enugu, Gombe, Imo, Jigawa, Kano, Kebbi, Kogi, Ondo, Oshun, Oyo, Rivers, Taraba, and Yobe states, executive councils of benefiting states, chairpersons of local government councils from the states, the organized private sector, and other stakeholders to the flag-off of the National Industrial Skills Development Program, NISDP. The flag-off ceremonies will be performed by the governors of the benefiting states. This phase of the NISDP will equip 9,000 youths with skills for employability and entrepreneurship in over 30 trades and crafts, in line with the job creation efforts of the federal government. Under President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Date is 20th to 24th March 2017, time 10 a.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 9:30 a.m. Please. Announcer, Management.
The Taraba State Governor, Architect Darius Dixon Ishaku, on behalf of the good people of the state, heartily congratulates the Akuka and Chairman Taraba State Council of Chiefs, Dr. Shikarau Anyu Masaibi, CON, Kuvio II, on his 40th anniversary on the throne. The governor also welcomes friends, well-wishers, traditional rulers, government functionaries, and distinguished guests to the landmark celebration. Date, 17th March 2017. Venue, Akuka Convocation Square, Kwara Rafa University, Wukari, Taraba State. Time 9 a.m. prompt. Organizing Committee. Announcer.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth is in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And as a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching News Extra on the NTA. The Nigerian Foreign Affairs Minister, Jeffrey Onyema, and his Interior Minister, counterpart, Abdurrahman Dambazal, are to meet with the Nigerian community in South Africa. Let's get the details from correspondent Oyeyemi Ajayi, who is with the ministers.
Well, thank you very much, studio. Today, the Nigerian Foreign Affairs Minister, that is Jeffrey Onyema, with his interior counterpart, Abdurrahman Dambazal, will be having the crucial meeting with Nigerian community in South Africa. They will actually be deliberating on different issues, and basically, the ministers will be giving more insights on what the Nigerian government is doing to protect the interests of Nigerians in South Africa here. You will recollect that yesterday at the meeting with the South African Minister for International Relations and Cooperation, there was the agreement for the two countries to establish the early warning unit, which is meant to protect the interests of Nigerians and South Africans respectively. As it has been said yesterday, Nigerian ministers have assured Nigerians in South Africa that the government of Nigeria is solidly in support of Nigerians, knowing fully well that migration to different countries or any part of the world is not a crime, and so definitely they are doing things to protect their interest in their respective countries. And that's it for now, studio. I will definitely get back to you as events unfold. It's been Oyeyemi Ajayi from Pretoria.
Thank you, Oyeyemi, and we will be getting back to you for updates on the minister's visit to South Africa. Now to politics. Worried by the crisis in the party, the People's Democratic Party Women's Forum rose from its meeting appealing to the two disputing parties to sheath their swords and allow political solution resolve the issues at stake. Political correspondent Abdullahi Garba Brinikudu reports that political leaders from the northern part of the country. The PDP platform also met over the crisis.
Need to bring back our
It
party.
was a gathering of women with elected positions and former political office holders who converged and discussed the PDP crisis. The leaders, under the leadership of Senator Biodun Olijimi, suggested composition of a committee of wise people by former President Goodluck Jonathan to resolve the crisis.
They are not criminalizing anybody. They're not saying anyone is wrong or right, but they are saying we need a political solution.
All those with court cases should withdraw them, and a new committee should be formed, at least to take us to convention.
Similarly, northern PDP leaders and elders met where they resolved for a common front to save the party from the crisis. They stressed that suggestion should be in line with the use of core values that set up the party in 1998.
For me and the caretaker committee, any time on any matter, the organs of the party are comfortable on anything, we implement it, we accept it.
Really choose those who rule over their affairs cannot be properly exercised if there is no freedom of choice.
There's no one single individual that will say this party belongs to him, because I happen to be one of the founders. And none of us can claim that this party belongs to him.
As this was going on, the PDP national chairman, Senator Ali Madu Sharif, hosted a delegation from Plateau State. He stressed that the will of the party members will always guide his action.
We are doing everything possible to put all the PDP family together. We are bringing them back.
Well, it's the meetings after meetings, all in the name of finding lasting solution to the lingering crisis in the People's Democratic Party. Whether this will yield positive result, political observers say only time will tell. From the PDP national headquarters in Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Burnukutu, NTA News.
Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, says the quarterly review and reflection on the management of the electoral process is a bold attempt by the Commission aimed at strengthening democracy in Nigeria. He said this at the quarterly consultative meeting with civil society organizations in Abuja. Gabriel Odu reports.
Reflecting on the performance of INEC on elections conducted so far from 2015 to date, the chairman said issues of violations of the Electoral Act and settlement of election cases are being addressed.
The most important thing is to see changes being made rather than crediting specific organizations with specific proposals. Because at the end of the day, what is more important is the health of our democracy and the management of our elections.
The chairman also gave assurance on INEC's willingness to always partner with the civil society organizations for smooth conduct of elections.
In the last two major elections we conducted in Edo and Ondo, INEC accredited 91 civil society organizations. And these 91 organizations collectively deployed 5,425 officers.
The regimentation of elections on election day is also a major issue for us in this country. We know that on election days there are no movements and people are restricted. This affects the number of people that can vote, especially if the location of their polling units are so far away from where they reside.
The quarterly consultative meeting between the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and civil society organizations also discussed the role of security agencies in the electoral process. From INEC headquarters in Abuja, Gabriel Odu, NTA News.
Now, the wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has reaffirmed her commitment to driving the campaign of protecting the rights and safety of the consumer. Mrs. Buhari stated this in a message shortly after the investiture in her honor as Consumer Ambassador of Nigeria. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports that the event was part of the activities to mark the 2017 World Consumer Rights Day put together by the Consumer Protection Council.
Muhammadu Buhari, represented by
March 15th every year, the World Consumer Rights Day
day set aside for the celebration of consumer rights all over the world and to protest the possible market abuses undermine these rights. This year's theme, Building a Digital World Consumer Can Trust, underscores the impact of digital technology. The investiture of the wife of the president as the consumer ambassador of Nigeria, the Director General of the Consumer Protection Council said, is to lead the crusade on creating consumers' awareness, particularly women, to know their rights.
We are therefore convinced that if Her Excellency Ajia Aisha Buhari will, as the Nigerian ambassador, bring her passion to bear on the education of consumers, a large population of our citizens, particularly women, will be sensitized of their consumer rights and responsibility in a very short time.
I want to call on Nigerians to be honest in their economic activities and as consumers of goods and services, so they can contribute positively to the economic growth and development of the nation.
We are discussing education, the government with the teachers association, etc. But the consumers, the ones who consume education services, who are they? The parents and their children, and they should be heard. They should be part of the dialogue.
In Abuja, Aniu Kabir, NTA News.
Still on consumer rights, as part of efforts to ensure quality of service and consumer education, the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, has flagged off what it calls the 2017 Year of Nigerian Telecom Consumers. The Minister of Communication, Mr. Adebayo Shitu, who performed the ceremony in Abuja, says consumers remain the king in every transaction. Ruben Okala reports.
Protection and empowerment of consumers are some of the items in the 8-point agenda in the quest for the overall improvement of the telecom industry. The move became imperative following the need for the Commission to promote innovation, attract new investments, and engender healthy competition in the nation's telecommunication industry.
When the year is ended, the NCC should be able, like I said, to measure the success and impact of this campaign by the level of awareness created among consumers in the hope that the Nigerian telecom consumer would then consistently get the right quality experience as well as value for money.
For the Nigerian consumer, you have answers to your questions and with the commitment that NCC will continue to stand by Nigerian consumers.
The leadership of the National Assembly in the message saluted NCC for the initiative aimed at protecting the consumers. Stand-up comedian Helen Paul and actor Nuhu Ali were unveiled as faces of telecom consumers.
If anything you don't like, you see it on your phone, just send HELP, H-E-L-P, to 2442, and I will be there to help you. Thank you.
Testimonies from these telecom consumers attest to the working of the initiative.
Until it dawned on me that I should call for help through the NCC. Less than 2 weeks that I made this complaint, they were looking for me everywhere.
The campaign is all about giving voice to the average telecom consumer. The initiative, according to NCC, will be sustained towards maintaining what it calls consumer experience and satisfaction. Ruben Okala, NTA News.
To health matters now, the federal government has appointed an independent verification agent for the $500 million performance-based health intervention grant to be disbursed to 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, inaugurated the independent verification agent during a retreat where he explained the workings of the program.
We consider you to be an unbiased referee. We also promise to make things easy for you. The important thing is that we need to utilize these resources properly. We need to show results, and we need to pay for the results. If there are no results, there will be no payment.
The agent is expected to calculate how much states and the federal government will earn based on the review of the independent surveys. And to talk more on this, I'm being joined by Dr. Ibrahim Kana, National Program Manager, Saving 1 Million Lives Program. Thanks for joining us on the News Extra, Dr. Kana. Basically, who are the targeted recipients of this grant?
Basically, the grant, as it were, is actually a credit to the federal government of Nigeria and given to states as grant. And the main focus is actually to address the legacy issues and the issues of maternal, newborn, and child health. Statistics in Nigeria have shown that over 950 to 970,000 women and children die every year. Therefore, the federal government of Nigeria, considering the fact and the importance of the future of our citizens, decided to devote or to allocate resources, to address these issues. Therefore, the resources actually, instead of just remaining in Abuja, the Federal Ministry of Health decided this time that bulk of our mothers and children actually encounter problems at the PHC level, and this PHC level are operating at the state and local government level. Therefore, 82% of the entire funds the federal government has taken is actually targeted at the state and local government. So Federal Ministry of Health is disbursing the monies directly to the states to ensure that activities are carried out at the facility level.
So what are the health service deliveries opportunities therein?
Well, specifically, there are 6 key indicators that have been identified, and these indicators are issues that actually constitute the major cause of morbidity and mortality amongst pregnant women and children under 5, i.e. the fact that we are targeting a situation whereby all children must be immunized, number 1. Number 2, all children must have vitamin A intake regularly. All children must sleep, children under 5 must sleep under the insecticide-treated nets because of addressing issues of malaria. We also recognize the fact that mothers, actually maternal mortality occur usually around areas of antenatal and delivery. So to ensure that women actually attend antenatal, we are actually paying the states for ensuring that women come for antenatal and are safely delivered. Another aspect is the issue of elimination of mother-to-child transmission of HIV/AIDS. In the world over, the target is 0 delivery of babies to be negative from mothers who are positive. Now, we are also addressing those issues at the facility level. The target here is not at Abuja level, but at the facility, primary healthcare level. So the program really is an innovative way of financing, looking at results. In the past, what we have recognized is that government has invested huge amount of resources in the last 30 years, but the focus then was on input. During the MDG's era, the Health System Development Project, the SHOPE project, all were input focused. That is, we build facilities, we build primary healthcare centers, equip them, provide drugs and consumables, but that has not yielded the desired result. Now we're challenging the states, that states must do this and this and that. Then after they have performed, we have measured using specific surveys that will actually assess the progress of these 6 key indicators. We will now pay for those results that they have achieved. What it means is that states that don't perform, they will not get this money. It's not free money. Okay. It is money for services that have been carried out with positive results. I
was going to say, how is it going to be sustained, considering that it could run into funds constraints?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it's not about the funds, but it's about the paradigm shift in the way we do business in Nigeria.
Okay.
Now we are working with the states and primary healthcare level. The truth of the matter is that as a government, we must actually look at results. It's not about spending money, but about what is the results that you have achieved. If you invested huge amount of money and you don't get results, you have actually wasted money. So the program is focusing on results. That's why it is called performance for results. And that's what is actually happening in many private organizations. You don't just employ workers and pay them salaries, but what is the outcome of what they are doing? Not just the output, but the outcome in terms of results.
Talking about the results, what exactly is the objective of the program? What do you hope to achieve?
Basically, at the end of the day, we will change the focus of the way we do business in Nigeria, focusing on results, looking at areas where we have problems, pay attention to those areas, devote your resources, get results, and at the end of the day, the eventual result is reducing maternal, newborn, and child morbidity and mortality in Nigeria.
And we hope to achieve that very soon. Thank you very much, Dr. Kana. Dr. Ibrahim Kana is the National Program Manager of the Saving 1 Million Lives program. The Federal Commissioner of National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Sadia Umar Farouk, says Government is working hard to ensure proper reintegration of internally displaced persons into the society. She stated this in Calabar during the flag-off exercise for the distribution of items to the Bakassi displaced people. Achibong Basi has the details.
A total of 3,800 Bakassi indigents, including women and children, have been displaced from their ancestral homes since 2008. Ajia Sadia Farouk, while stating that the Nigerian and Cameroonian governments and the United Nations have recently signed a tripartite agreement for the return and proper reintegration of Nigerians into the country, commended the state governor, Ben Ayade's efforts at restoring hope to the displaced people of Bakassi through the construction of 5,000 housing units.
It's an agreement that will see to the protection and assistance of our nationals that are in Cameroon, and also the processes of their voluntary return back home. But for those that are willing to return, my cue is going to be voluntary return. Those that wish to return, they will return. Those that opt to stay in Cameroon, they will stay in Cameroon. So we're trying to profile them and see the numbers that want to come home and the ones that want to remain.
The Cross River State Governor, Ben Ayade, decried the agony the Bakassi people have endured in their ancestral homes with no source of livelihood. Describing the plight of the Bakassi IDPs as deplorable and totally unacceptable, the governor said the solution to the challenges facing the people does not lie in the distribution of relief materials alone, but to bring the true situation of the Bakassi people to the federal government for permanent solution.
The situation we find them is deplorable, totally unacceptable. Federal Commissioner, you will do me so much favor if you can densify the problem and bring it to the international platform. If you hear the story, you will pause. But if you get to the scene, you will cry.
At the Palace of the Obong of Calabar, the Federal Commissioner thanked the Obong of Calabar for the care and concern shown to the Bakassi IDPs. The Obong of Calabar, His Eminence Edidem Ekpo Konobasio to the Fifth, said the issue of internally displaced persons, which is not only peculiar to the Bakassi people, is a great challenge to the kingdom.
It's an urgent situation that should be addressed. There are so many others that we try as much as possible to push, but it's beyond what we can do.
Former Senator, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Florence Itagiwa, presented an insight report on the Bakassi people to the Federal Commissioner. The exercise is the first in the series of assistance to the IDPs in Calabar. Achibong Basi, NTA News.
The federal government says it will save over $200 million through the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative, which is meant to address corruption in farming input supply chain. Musa Baba Ali reports that the Growth Enhancement Scheme program of the Ministry of Agriculture is to be subsumed into the initiative.
The Growth Enhancement Scheme was introduced by the federal government with the aim of eradicating corruption in the input supply. In spite of that, there have been cases of abuses and diversion, as well as inflation in the process.
The issue of subsidy before, that was what killed the fertilizer. The issue of affordable fertilizer, that is the answer. Affordable fertilizer. Not a fertilizer at a very low price where the farmer himself will go and sell it and get profit.
The Presidential Fertilizer Initiative, which is a partnership between the federal government and Fertilizer Producers and Suppliers Association, provides a platform where government subsidy goes directly into the production of fertilizer. Under the system, 7 blending plants in Kano, Kaduna, Plateau, Niger, Funtua, Lagos, Ebonyi are to produce 1.5 million tons of fertilizer for 2017 wet and dry season farming.
Any state in Nigeria can pick from here, can pick from any of the 11 blending plants in batch 1. So by the time we move to batch 2, we're going to be about 13 blending plants. In batches, it will be increasing.
Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Adu Ogbe, said Nigerians owe it a duty to ensure that the products are not smuggled out of the country.
We want this fertilizer to be applied so that agriculture can flourish, the farmer can make money, the price of food can be reasonable, and Nigeria can be self-sufficient in food production.
While you are improving yield, you are improving production, you also have to reduce cost. That will give better profit for the farmer, and that will make him produce more, and that will make him competitive.
The Presidential Fertilizer Initiative Committee are to ensure that all plants abide by the agreements signed with the government. From Dutse, Jigawa State, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Still on agriculture, as part of efforts to boost agricultural production and reduce rural poverty, agricultural inputs, equipment and agrochemicals worth over 1 billion naira have been distributed to farmers in Sokoto and Zamfara states. Correspondent Mohammed Nasser has more.
In Sokoto State, the 2016-2017 Farmer 3 dry season intervention saw the distribution of farm input and implements to 611 production groups across the crops value chain of rice, sorghum and tomato, covering 23 local government areas in the state. Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol expressed the belief that the project will assist in making food sufficient and eradicating hunger and poverty. Representative of National Project Coordinator Farmer 3 Additional Financing, Mr. Ben Habert, said the project is aimed at empowering farmer resource users through community-driven development approach and preparation for fundable agricultural business plans. Sokoto State Commissioner of Agriculture Umar Nawari Tambol and Farmer 3 Project Coordinator Dr. Bashir Mustafa lauded the state government for the payment of its counterfeit funds to the project amounting to more than 100 million naira. Similar program was also launched in Zamfara State by Governor Abdul Aziz Yari Abubakar, where over 1,000 farmers benefited. In Sokoto, Muhammad Nasir, NTA News.
And citizens hoping to borrow from banks will be rejoicing if the banks reduce the cost of borrowing. You get to hear on experts' advice on this in the next segment. That is if you stay with us.
Promise to my child, I am not your friend. I am your mother. I will stalk you, debate you, and hunt you down if I have to. Because when it comes to protecting you, there's no such thing as too tough. That's why every night, I insist on Baygon Multi-Insect Killer for tough mosquito protection before bedtime, so I know my loved ones can fall asleep protected. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
With Happy Cover from Leadway Assurance, you'll be covered for, well, almost anything.
Boys, play nicely.
From automobile cover to house to personal cover.
Play nicely with your brother.
Or with one single premium.
That's it, we're going home.
Get happy. SMS happy to 22865 and we'll call you back. SMS now. Live happy with Leadway Assurance. Ensuring happiness since 19...
Achievers always believe in 100%. Breakfast isn't complete without Chivita 100% fruit juice. Made from real natural fruits with no added sugar. So to be at your best, start every day the Chivita 100% way. With 100% quality. 100% commitment. 100% goodness. Achievement. Start your day the Chivita 100% way.
Discover the true diversity of Nigerian food as we share how we prepare, cook, and enjoy our local dishes. Delicious Niger, brought to you by Maggie, showing on these stations.
My promise to my child, I am not your friend. I am your mother. I will stalk you, debate you, and hunt you down if I have to. Because when it comes to protecting you, there's no such thing as too tough. That's why every night, I insist on Baygon Multi-Insect Killer for tough mosquito protection before bedtime, so I know my loved ones can fall asleep protected. SC Johnson, a family company.
It's finally here, the most anticipated sports show on live television, featuring great sports icons from ex-internationals to famed journalists and administrators. It doesn't come bigger than the Sports Parliament. Be a part of the biggest sports talk show on television to help chart a successful path for Nigerian sports. 11 p.m. to midnight on Thursday on the NTA. Sports Parliament, where the eggheads converge.
Glad to have you join us again on News Extra. And right now we go to business news. The Nigeria Stock Exchange maintains zero tolerance to fractions as a financial expert urges government to do more to encourage banks to reduce the cost of funds to borrowers in the country. Amici Pius has more.
Hello and thanks for being a part of Business News. As part of measures to boost investors' confidence on the Nigerian capital market, the Executive Director, Capital Markets of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Haruna Jallo Waziri, has assured the investing public of the exchange's commitment to deal with market infractions. He said the market's legal and regulation division have been strengthened with the introduction of modern technologies to make it competitive.
We made significant progress from a technology perspective in terms of audit trail and all of that, from a rule perspective in terms of formatting these rules and processes, from even education perspective in terms of what we typically would tell investors as to how these things are done.
The president of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, Professor Segun Ajibola, has observed that operators of the Nigerian banking industry must forge strategic partnership with the global banking community. This is with a view to exploring another source of credit to the various sectors of the economy.
New correspondent banking relationships are developed, new credit lines are opened up, new modus operandi for transactive businesses among banks will be evolved, new friends will be made, new transactions will be closed.
Another school of thought, Dr. Oladimeji Alo, wants government to put measures in place to improve on the ease of doing business in Nigeria, especially with a view to encouraging banks to reduce the cost of funds to the real sector.
Be it agriculture, be it manufacturing, be it aviation, whatever sector, with oil and gas, the banks have to understand the risk involved in the lending. Not just the credit risk alone, several other risks involved.
And here are details of movement of stocks at the close of business on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange today.
Aluka market trends showed that market capitalization finished at 8.75 trillion naira, leaving the all-share index at 25,301.23. Investors purchased 233,000.77 naira shares at 2.16 billion naira. Gainers led the gainers with a 2 naira gain, while Nestle was ahead of other losers with a 4 naira 99 kobo loss.
And that's business news. Thanks for watching. News continues shortly. Good evening.
Thank you, Amechi. Now, the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, has commended the 8th National Assembly over the improved relations between the corporation and the lawmakers. Dr. Baru gave the commendation during an interactive session between the management of the NNPC and members of the House of Representatives Committee on Local Content at the NNPC Towers in Abuja. He noted that the oversight visits to some oil and gas companies by the committee had achieved significant progress in ensuring that the lofty ideals of the Nigerian Content Act of 2010 was strictly adhered to. Dr. Baru informed that the NNPC, as the incubator of the Nigerian Content Act, was one of the most compliant organizations with the local content law, with about 56% level of compliance, especially in the areas of installations, fabrications, procurement, and various levels of engineering.
And our leadership will comply fully with the Nigerian Content Act. And this kind of interactive sessions are very much welcome, where we could discuss issues gently.
Chairman of the committee, Emmanuel Ekon, said the interactive session with the NNPC was informed by the need for a strong synergy in order to ensure full compliance with the Local Content Act to enable Nigerians benefit from the Nigerian oil and gas industry. Unilever Nigeria PLC's household dental care brand, Pepsodent, has demonstrated its commitment to safeguarding oral health in Lagos. Musa Toliat reports that the event is part of activities lined up by Pepsodent to celebrate this year's World Oral Health Day.
Work for Oral Health, which flagged off from the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, saw participants move through major roads in Surulere and Ojuelegba before terminating at the Luth premises. Handbills and flyers were given out to create awareness on prevention of tooth decay, oral diseases, and the need to visit the dentist twice in a year. President, Nigerian Dental Association, Bode Ijarugbe said the high prevalence rate of oral health problems and low level of awareness on dental care in the country necessitated the oral health sensitization work.
The mouth is a gateway to the body, and the mouth plays an important role in the body. So if you don't take care of your mouth, there's no way the body will not suffer for it. We talk about oral manifestations of systemic diseases. So this is the reason we say people should take care of the mouth. You spend a lot of money if you allow disease to develop before you take care of them. That's why we say prevention is better than cure.
Pepsodent officials say the event is born out of the need to place emphasis on the use of toothpaste with fluoride to forestall preventable oral challenges among the public.
The most prevalent disease for the oral health is cavities. Pepsodent is a fluoride-containing toothpaste that helps prevent cavities. It gives fresh breath and it also gives white teeth.
We know that oral health hygiene in Nigeria is low, so we are trying to catch them young through our school program and through our oral health work to ensure that people actually know the importance of brushing day and night.
The oral health work was jointly organized by Pepsodent and the Nigerian Dental Association. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
To the judiciary now, where Justice Abdulaziz Anka of the Federal High Court will on the 12th of April 2017 rule on the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mike Ozekome's application seeking to unfreeze his account with the balance of 75 million naira frozen by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on the order of the court. Vera Chiumba was at the Federal High Court and now reports.
Justifying its action in freezing the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mike Ozekome's account, EFCC Rotimi Oyedepo alleged that the money, which was paid to Ozokome as legal fees by the governor of Ekiti State, Ayo Fayose, was part of the 2.26 billion naira arms procurement fund, which the former National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, allegedly looted. EFCC claimed to have traced the money to the 2.26 billion naira Dasuki loot to Fayose. The anti-graft agency claimed that Dasuki routed the money to Fayose through the former Minister of State for Defense, Musliu Obanekoro. The applicant, Mike Ozokome, who held his brief in a motion on notice to unfreeze his account, argued that EFCC suppressed the facts to obtain the freezing order and urged the court to lift it. He contended that the action of EFCC was unconstitutional, has no legal justification, and a gross violation of Sections 36, 37, and 41 of the 1999 Constitution. Ozokome claimed that the money was part of his professional fees for 8 cases he's handling for Fayose and friends, including Femi Fani-Kayode and one Adebisi Abiodun. After hearing the argument on whether or not to unfreeze the account from both counsels, Justice Anka fixed the 12th of April for ruling. In Lagos, Viera Chumuba, NTA News.
There's more ahead on News Extra in just a moment. Stay with us.
Change does not just happen. You and I and all of us must appreciate that we all have our part to play if we want to bring change about. We must change our lawless habits, our attitude to public office, and public trust. We must change our unruly behavior in schools, hospitals, marketplaces, motor parks, on the roads, in homes and offices. To bring about change, we must change ourselves by being law-abiding citizens.
Can your milk do this?
Let's talk about love is love.
Can your milk do this?
Love is sweet tea, love is a muppet. Love is boiled sweet stuck to your pockets. Love is a kiss when you leave.
Can your milk do this?
Can your milk do this? Mine can.
With Hollandia evaporated milk, your cereals, oats, smoothies, custards, ice cream, and variation of beverages taste pleasantly different. Hollandia evaporated milk. Life tastes different.
From the House of Chi.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC impacts upon everything we do, including water we drink, the food we eat. They are important organs to the development of this country. And everybody should come out and join them and support them and help them to achieve the greatest benefits and success that they need to record.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Are you looking for value or you're in search of nature and splendor all in one place? Here at Chida International Hotel, we define the very essence of life. Our environment offers added value in standard, attitude, and delivery. Our facilities include the very best of everything you can imagine. From a world-class event center to Echo's restaurant, Wema Bar, Confluence Pool Bar, Pastry Lobby Shop, classy and valet services, IT center, top-notch saloon, conference and banquet facilities, modern health center, and many more. We're located at Plot 224 Solomon Lao Way, Utako District, Abuja. For more information on your highly distinguished hotel services, call 081-007-18882 and 081-007-18883. Never say value until you've experienced the exquisiteness of Chida International Hotel. Chida International Hotel, preferred by many.
Following the approval of the whistleblowers policy by the Federal Executive Council and its launch by the Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, patriotic Nigerians have been making inquiries on how and where they could deliver information that could lead to the stopping or uncovering of fraud to the appropriate authority and answers to frequently asked questions. The Federal Minister of Finance has therefore dedicated a telephone line for receiving SMS, a whistleblowers portal, and an email address through which members of the public who volunteer to disclose information about a possible misconduct or violation could deliver such information for the attention of the team dedicated to process such information.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
You're welcome back. You're still watching News Extra on the NTA. Now, returning to our earlier report on the visit to South Africa, officials of the Nigerian government, led by the Ministers of Foreign Affairs and that of Interior, were in South Africa at the beginning of the week to interface with Nigerians resident in that country with a view to checking future xenophobic attacks. Oyeyemi Ajayi now has an overview of the visit.
The visit by the Nigerian Ministers of Foreign Affairs and Interior could be said to be quite busy and hectic one at that. It was an opportunity for these ministers to have first-hand information about the feelings of Nigerians in South Africa. And this was actually an opportunity for the Nigerian community in South Africa to express their feelings about the Nigerian government. Also, the ministers assured them that the Nigerian government is only listening to their cry and that the government is doing everything possible to ensure that Nigerians in South Africa have a great and comfortable stay in the country.
It's very, very important because it means that our National Union of Nigerians in South Africa will be able to communicate immediately all their grievances, their demands, and also warn South African government to the highest level of any impending crisis.
Nigerian Minister for Interior Abdurrahman Dambazao revealed that the Nigerian government is looking at the extension of the passport validity of Nigerians from 5 years to 10 years, and it was commended by the Nigerian community in South Africa. The foreign minister also assured that the Nigerian government will not sleep with their eyes closed concerning the cry of Nigerians in South Africa, revealing that based on the discussion he had with the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation in South Africa, xenophobic attack might be just a thing of the past against Nigerians and any other nationals in South Africa.
Yeah, well, no, the message we're taking back is essentially this, that we have agreed with the South African government to establish a mechanism that we believe will prevent future xenophobic attacks.
From Pretoria, South Africa, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
We will take another short break now, and still to come on the news, sports.
Do you crave class? Do you have taste? And do you care about comfort? If you do, then for your next event, a stay away from home, a business trip, or a holiday, visit Jade's Hotel at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja. Check out our world-class services, exquisite suites, restaurant and bar, gymnasium, spa and grills, and our outdoor catering services and cuisines. At Jade's, it can only be better. For bookings and reservations, visit us today at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja, or visit www.jadeshotels.com. Our email address is info@jadeshotels.com. You can also call us on 09291-9321 or 0810-909-7956. Jade's Hotels. Welcome to life.
The federal government's social investment program has begun. The poorest and most vulnerable in the land get 5,000 naira monthly, and phase 1 has started in 9 states of the federation. 200,000 unemployed graduates have been engaged in the N-Power Volunteer Corps, designed to engage 500,000 people. 5.5 million children will be fed regularly in the homegrown school feeding program, which kicked off in 3 states last year, with 9 more to be added this year. And under the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP, thousands of cooperatives, market women, farmers, and enterprising youth have been receiving between 10,000 and 100,000 naira soft loans since November 2016. The Social Investment Program has begun. It can only get better. We promise change. Change is here.
Glad to know you're still there as we go on the last lap on NTA News Extra. To global tidbits now, UK aid agencies say at least 16 million people in Somalia, Kenya,